Hey guys, Peter here to do a concert review, and today I'm here to tell you about Batushka and Hate. They played in Toronto on October 17th at Lee's Palace. Originally, when the tour got announced, the lineup included Hideous Divinity, but they had to drop out before the tour even started. So for Toronto, the promoter added Temple of Night, a local band. Now, the venue, Lee's Palace, is not a massive venue. It's a small venue, but one that allows you to have a much direct connection with the band. It also has an aura to it and a darkness that really encompasses everything once you walk in through those doors. So these two elements add to the allure of seeing a black metal show at Lee's Palace. I honestly feel like you get a little bit more from the show by being there versus being at a much larger venue. Now, Temple of Night, a local band that I had never heard of before, they don't have any album out. They're unsigned. They have a few songs that have been released. So a band that had a lot to prove, a lot to show, a lot to gain. I honestly feel like they walked out of that venue with a lot of fans in their back pocket. They have this incredible atmospheric black metal sound that seems a lot more polished than what their resume shows. This band has quality within them. They created a very interesting performance. They played a very interesting set. Their songs had beginning, middle, and end. They had substance, they had path, they took you on a journey, and then they have a very good vocalist that not only allows himself to blend in with the atmosphere of the song, with the power of the song, with the energy of the song, but also break through that energy, break through that wall, and put himself in the forefront, helping guide the listener through the maze, the fog that they create with their sound. They also have an outstanding keyboard player that has a great voice. She's able to add atmosphere just by using her range, just by using her voice in a very simple way, but a simple way that has an incredible impact to how you perceive the tracks, how you perceive the lyrical content of the tracks, and how you navigate through them. Everything about these guys is creating an experience and then helping you through that experience from beginning all the way to the end. Next came Hate, and the Hate set started off with a little bit of a glitch, but they were able to fix it, get back on stage, and perform, and what a performance it was. Their sound was so thick, but at the same time, so raw, so driven, so powerful. I mean, outstanding performance. The guitar sound on that stage really ripped through. You could feel it moving forward and impacting the listener. That thickness of that guitar sound matching with the thickness that were coming from the drums really made for volume and texture on every single track, creating a sound that you don't always get, which is a very thick and driven sound at the same time. Often when you listen to songs or bands that have a very penetrating, driven sound, the sound tends to be very thin, very raw, but very thin, and that's what allows it to be very penetrating. These guys are able to create that same experience, but with a lot more thickness, a lot more heaviness behind it. The guitar sound was outstanding. The drums were phenomenal. They had so much warmth to them. They grounded the experience. You don't always get that necessarily in a live setting. So the mixing at the table was really well done for the kind of sound that they have and the kind of performance that they were trying to put forward. The only thing that was lacking from their set was a longer set. I honestly could have listened to a lot more of Hate because they sounded phenomenal. Once they fixed their glitches from beginning all the way to the end, the guitars, the drums, the vocals were guttural, not necessarily overly heavy, but they had a mean spirit to them, and that mean spirit is really important for what Hate as a band is all about. And I felt like they connected with the audience, and I felt like perhaps those technical issues at the beginning of the show, while throwing a little bit of a wrench, allow them to reset their minds and put a little bit more into it and give the audience their full-blown power as far as what they can do, not just what they do in the studio, but what they can do live. Now, the stage is not very big, so they can't move around that much, so they're a little bit constrained with the real estate that they have. But I honestly don't think that they're a band that needs to do a lot of moving. They just need to fucking rip it, and that's exactly what they did song in and song out. I honestly felt like the set was really short. They played about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. I wanted to hear a lot more from them because they left me with my mouth watering for more. Like I said, the quality of the sound was there. The quality of the vocals was there. The set list was phenomenal. Just needed a few more songs in order for me to feel completely satisfied by their performance. Last but not least, Batushka. Now, I mentioned this earlier, the stage is small, and I feel for Batushka, they need a much larger stage in order to really put all of their props out and create a more significant stage presence. Everything felt very cluttered. Everything felt pretty much on top of each other. Now, they did the best that they could do with what they had at their disposal. Obviously, the size of the stage is something that's completely out of their control, but it still impacts ever so slightly your perception of the performance. I feel like if the stage was bigger, the performance would have been even better. Not that it wasn't good, but it would have been even better. Now, I enjoyed the show from a show's point of view in terms of what they offer, in terms of how everything looked like. They played the part, and they played the part extremely well. It really felt like I was at a black mass. That is the experience, that is the atmosphere, that is the essence that they put forward. Sound-wise, they were on point as well. I mean, I don't know who was mixing at the table, all three bands, but whoever it was did a phenomenal job with all three. The sound was impeccable. The drive, the power, the different momentums, the texture of the drums, the power of the drums, the way the guitars coordinated so well with one another. You could really feel and hear every single element in their sound throughout their entire performance. The vocals are the icing on the cake. The vocals really push you a little bit deeper into what this band is all about in terms of their image, their sound, their lyrical content. I thought that all the right pieces were in the right place. Like I said, they did the best that they could with what was offered to them, but they put on a phenomenal show that just went in a blink of an eye. I honestly felt like Hate had gone too fast, but maybe because the set was too short, in my opinion. I wanted to hear 3-4 more songs from them. Batushka set was a normal headlining set, but it also felt too short because the experience was great. You're fully engaged with it, you're fully involved with it, you're losing track of time, and next thing you know, it's the last song and they're walking off the stage and you want more. So if you have a chance to go see this tour based on Batushka and Hate alone, you need to go check them out. They're playing phenomenal music, they're putting out phenomenal performances based on what I saw in Toronto, and from a Batushka standpoint, is something different. It's not something you see every day. Like I said, it feels like you are at a black mass, and that changes the dynamic of the show, that changes the dynamic of the performance, and that changes your perception of everything that is happening. One thing is to listen to this band at home, and the other thing is to be there and be part of what's happening, be part of the show just by attending. It's not every day that you can do that you can be part of a performance just by being there. At this tour, you can do that with Batushka, and as far as Hate is concerned, you better come prepared. You better bring your running shoes on because there's going to be a lot of moshing, there's going to be a lot of headbanging. They play phenomenal as well. Great live set, great sound, great show all around. I'm going to put the tour dates in the description of the video. I'm going to put links to all three bands, so if you've never heard of them, you can go check them out. But who hasn't heard of Hate and Batushka? But everything is going to be in the description of this video. Check them out. Let me know if you were at the show in Toronto. Let me know if you were at any of the shows that they've been performing across North America during this tour, and I'll see you all at the next video.